Hey guys, this is Josh from the Redneck Homestead channel, and I'm up here at the property that I was talking to you guys about a couple of videos ago. I think the video was called In the Market and Looking for a New Homestead Property. Well, it turns out that we have some news, some pretty good news. Rob and I came up here to check out the property and kind of to walk around a little bit and get more acquainted. There's a lot of land here. There are actually two parcels. One's like 50 acres and the other one's almost 13. So it's pushing 63 acres total. It's on the side of a mountain, just the way I like it. And it's pretty densely wooded. It's really cool. There are trails and roads and what have you running all through the property. And what I found at the top of this property is nothing short of amazing. If you look through this idyllic view here, between the trees, you can see the presidential mountain range of New Hampshire. It's remarkable. I can't really name the mountains from where I'm at right here, but I can tell you the ones on the right. Try to zoom in if I can. I'm filming this with my camera phone. Look at that mountain. I believe that's Mount Jefferson. And over here, I don't know what that is actually now that I'm looking at it. If we go back to Jefferson and we zoom in here, it's hard to make it out, but there's Cannon Mountain to the left of Jefferson through the trees. Let me see if I can point at it. Right there. This is remarkable. This is just absolutely incredible. The entire property is bounded by a vintage stone wall. You can see the age of the wall just by the patina and the lichen growing on the rocks. It's just it's really cool. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know what a colonial buff I am. I'm really just obsessed with the whole colonial era, founding period of our country. And this was an old homestead that was established during that time period. And there's a cemetery on the property. I mentioned that to you guys in the video where we were talking about the possibility of going further with this property. And it turns out that it's a colonial era cemetery from the middle 18th century. And that's just unbelievable to me to think that settlers are buried on this property. But enough of me talking. Let's go for a walk. Well, the hike was no joke. It's not that it's really steep, as you can see, but it's got itself a pretty gradual incline, but the snow is at least 1.5 to 2 feet deep still. So just when you think you're gonna skim the surface like that, you fall straight down a foot. And of course, that means now my left leg needs to push that much harder to get me out of the hole, and thus the cycle continues. What do you think, Rob? It's pretty incredible, huh?
Yeah.
Now, you walk up a little further beyond that rock wall. What'd you find up there?
Yeah, the road just keeps going. Looks like it might have been an old, just all logging roads, or maybe it might have been a snowmobile trail or something at one point.
Cool.
Check it out with the snow ain't so deep.
You think we're gonna do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely.
It's just got this really, really peaceful vibe up here, and I don't know, there's just something about all this hardwood up here. The trees aren't really too mature. It's my guess that the logging operation that took place here 10, 15 years ago was more than likely an effort by the prior owners to dig out of the financial rut that they were in, which ultimately was the demise that they saw, which caused them to lose the property. And again, I have to really just restate from my prior video on this. There's a real feeling of, there's a pall over me that makes me feel really badly about the fact that I may be inheriting, albeit through hard work and a lot of God's grace, a property that was once the dream and the life work of someone else. That's very sad, but you know, it's part of cycle of generations, I guess. I envision Rob bringing an excavator up here and cleaning up all this brush and kind of turning this into something that's more manageable and less, I mean, it kind of looks apocalyptic in a sense. Like there's a lot of, you know, just logging trash, I would say, logging leftovers that need to be cleaned up. And I think that it'd be very cool to pick away like at quarter acre at a time, really, just really make it clean and beautiful and usable. On our way up, we encountered this lone cross in the middle of the woods here. It's got like a red sheet or a shroud of some sort hanging. Looks pretty tattered and old, but like I said in my prior video, this was a property that was once owned by a Christian family. They owned a bread company, and the bread company was originally what was supporting this property, evidently, and then they had some sort of a campground, a Christian campground up here. I'm not sure of the chronology or how any of this really went down, but just in my research on this.
Okay. Good.
Now right here, as we descend the property from the precipice that we were on, this is the little cemetery. And I don't know, it's probably, if I had to eyeball it, 30 feet by 40 or 50 feet. Hard to see. There's no headstones standing up, but there must be headstones lying on the ground, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's in kind of a cool area of the property. You can see that it's just kind of, as odd as this may sound, the cemetery's in kind of a happy place on the property. I don't know. I had mixed feelings about having a cemetery on the property for a number of reasons. Primarily, it's not for any like spiritual reasons. I mean, you know, once you die, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You get planted in the ground and that's it. You become part of the earth again. But more from a governmental standpoint, in our state, there's a statute that requires that municipalities maintain all state registered cemeteries, and unfortunately this cemetery is registered with the state on some level, which requires this town to come up and at least maintain it. And you know, I'm not looking at a property that's a mile into the woods so that I can have town officials trotting across my front lawn and back lawn to weed whack a cemetery that has no descendants. More than likely no descendants are even alive. So I think what I'd like to do is probably maintain it myself and make a deal with the town where they pay me $1 a year or whatever to weed whack it and just maintain our privacy. So. We're on the east side of the cemetery, facing west, almost due west actually. You can see the sun through the trees there on its way down. And you can see in the distance, try to zoom in for you, one of the cabin structures. It actually is more of like an open air kind of gazebo. It's got walls and spaces for windows that are just screened in. It's kind of cool. I envision that being kind of a cool place to hang out in the summer. And just northwest, you'll see another cabin, actually the biggest of the log cabins, aside from the main house, through the trees there. It's a rather large structure and could easily be a residence for a few people to live very comfortably, actually. And as you go east here, I mean, this is all part of the property for really as far as the eye can see. Well, not up the mountains, obviously. And as we make our way down the western boundary of the larger of the two parcels, you can see the house in the distance. Try to zoom in on that. As we pan over here, a full-size basketball court. And there's another structure down there which looks kind of like a workshop or something. It's really a mess, actually. But there's a lot of power going to it. Lots of power, actually. And I'm not sure if it can be rehabbed or not. A little fire pit right there. Like I said, this is just kind of a really cool part of the property. I don't know, it's just got a really good feeling to it. And another feature that I wanted to share with you guys, it's really terraced quite nicely because it is the side of a mountain. But somebody had the forethought to terrace it to make it really usable. So there's this upper terrace, this next lower one. As we continue down here, there's yet another terrace that has all the earmarks of a garden. Quite a large garden just beyond the basketball court. It's got to be at least 150 foot by, I don't know, 75 foot garden, which is quite a large garden. I think it would produce everything we need, that's for sure. Everything we need to get through the summer and the winter, frankly. And this here is the site where an old barn existed. You can tell because of the rock foundation that you can see from the downhill vantage point. If you go up to the northern portion of the property and look south, you'll see a huge foundation. So I envision a large barn being built right here. A large barn to store equipment, such as dozer, excavator, four-wheelers, tractors, land equipment, sawmill, of course, you guys. You know, my soft spot for my sawmill. And of course, there would need to be a huge cabinet shop, welding shop, woodworking shop, all the other things. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Look at this view. I mean, this is just unbelievable. This is the kind of thing that I could just get lost on. And I know I kind of like to put the cart before the horse periodically. It's kind of what I do. But if you've made it this far through this video, you deserve to know that we have been in talks with the seller for, well, quite a while now. And we have agreed on a price. And it looks like we're moving forward with this property. So, you know, by the grace of God, God willing, in a couple of months this will be ours. And it will be the beginning of a lifelong journey to create quite an amazing life for our family and our friends, and to create a property that we can pass down to the children and they can pass down to their children, and just provide a lifetime of joy and communion with one another and with God. So we do thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. If you like this video, we'd appreciate a thumbs up, and you know how to do that. Just hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like this video for some reason, well, hit the thumbs down button. And you're certainly entitled to your opinion, but I can't imagine anybody thumbs downing this kind of a view from any vantage point. But hey, certainly want your opinion on this. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we do appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button right now. Now's the time. And if you share this video, share what we're doing. This is going to be a wild and crazy adventure. We'd love to have you and your friends and your family all join us for it. We value your feedback too. We really, we're going to need a lot of advice going forward, and this is certainly the largest project that I have endeavored to tackle. So we need the more of you, the merrier. So again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next video. We'll keep you posted as anything happens. Wow, look at that beautiful pheasant right there. That is among the many creatures that roam this property here. Super cool.